let's focus on the U.S. consumer, like you said. In 2013, so U.S. stock markets hit unbelievable record highs. The housing market had a major rebound, but consumer spending is still rather muted despite all of these signs of a strengthening economy. Well, CCTV's Liling joins us live to break down the details. So Liling, we're seeing some reports pointing to optimism, but limited buying action. What is really holding back the American consumer right now?
Extra pocket money, Michelle, or rather the lack of it. Despite a somewhat brightening jobs picture, and as you pointed out, the bullish stock market and the uptick in housing, consumers have been reluctant to spend money on things they don't really need. And the somewhat lackluster holiday retail sales numbers are a big indicator of that consumer caution.
For U.S. retailers, it's supposed to be the busiest and most profitable time of the year when big department stores and small retailers alike compete to cash in on consumer spending sprees that can account for 40% of annual revenues. But the year-end holiday season of 2013 didn't quite deliver. Consumer electronic retail chain Best Buy was among the latest to report disappointing sales, and the U.S. Commerce Department said this week that traditional holiday spending was disappointing, as Americans spent less on furniture and electronics, and department store sales receded in December. The weak holiday retail numbers have weighed down on an otherwise strong year for the U.S. economy.
Consumers are feeling more confident with regard to things like job security, their net worth, particularly after the strong 2013 in the stock market and the rebound in housing. They've also made progress in terms of paying down debt. But American consumers are not seeing extra money in the paycheck, and they're certainly not seeing any additional buying power with that paycheck. And as a result, they tend to remain pretty tight-fisted.
That cautionary behavior comes amid a rash of data breaches that hit retailers, including Target and Neiman Marcus, further heightening consumer wariness.
Consumers are very concerned about the recent spate of high-profile data breaches. But I think part of that is allayed by the fact that consumers do not have any liability for fraudulent transactions as long as they report that to financial institutions promptly. However, I think consumers are, they're understandably unsettled by the fact that their information was compromised and that it's been a lot more information than was initially reported.
And Michelle, with average hourly earnings and inflation both up less than 2% last year, there hasn't been that much bang for the American buck. So we might want to think twice about buying those Christian Louboutin shoes for now.
Come on, Liling, a girl can never have too many shoes, but maybe prudent to pause slightly. But, lots of things are on sale. But let's focus on the real issue and how much of these concerns will carry over into this year. And other than hot shoes, what are some of the consumer trends we should be looking out for?
Well, consumer confidence is improving, so that's encouraging. But if wages remain tight, Michelle, and earnings don't grow enough to bolster that buying power, then yes, we'll likely see more of this cautious behavior, at least in the short term. As for consumer trends this year, Mintel's 2014 consumer projections point to 4 key trends. First, shopping habits will continue to shift as the world becomes smaller thanks to technology, giving consumers access to goods previously out of reach. Second, convenience will drive spending habits as they have, but with smartwatches and Google Glass, consumption will be faster. Third, Mintel expects consumers to look for ways to unplug, and that's where these concerns over data breaches may come into play as consumers think harder about online security and vulnerability and opt to spend more time living in the real world than online. And lastly, preparation spending, such as in retirement and healthcare, will be an undercurrent as well. Michelle?
Shopping in the real world. Okay, thank you so much, Liling.